Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all good. Today I am doing an all-girl video and we are going to be talking about your private hygiene. Talking to you about your thing, your thing and how to take care of it, and just some tips and tricks that I learned along the way that may be helpful to you. So without further ado, we're getting into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is cleaning it in general. The inside of our vaginas clean themselves. They have their own system where they keep everything balanced down there. It's environment, it's condition, and as a result, we shouldn't really tamper with that. So when it comes to cleaning, we are only expected to clean the outside because of things like dirt and sweat, things we can't control, because as humans, it happens to all of us. So when it comes to cleaning, I'd like to say don't use any strong soaps, because you can definitely mess up the balance down there. It is very delicate, very sensitive. Anything that's out of the ordinary can cause discomfort. So using strong soaps, scented soaps, sometimes soap in general, if yours is that sensitive, I will go on and say that using water by itself is perfectly fine. If you want to use some non-scented soap or some very basic soap, then that would be fine. One thing I want to say is using feminine soaps down there isn't actually as good as you may think it is. As much as it makes you feel good and maybe smell good when you use it, it does have some side effects and it changes the way you are down there, and sometimes the moment you stop using it, you can actually make it worse than it was before you started using the product. You also don't know what's in the product, what it could be doing to you down there in the long term, so just be careful. The same thing with using scented feminine wipes for down there, using scented condoms if you're into all of that. Just be careful. The next thing I want to talk about is if you're gonna touch her for whatever reason, be it you're just cleaning her or checking her out, please wash your hands before you touch her. She's very sensitive. You could have salt on your hands, or I don't know, you could have touched orange juice, and orange juice is very acidic. You never know. But please do wash your hands before you touch her. Obviously, if you're moisturizing her, you just come out the shower and your hands are clean, that's fine. But in any other circumstance, wash your hands before you touch down there. It's easier for all of us. Then I'm gonna talk about, after cleaning, I'm gonna talk about moisturizing. I would not recommend using any scented moisturizers that you use on the rest of your body, because I'm gonna keep repeating this, she is very sensitive. If anything, you can use aloe vera gel or coconut oil to moisturize her, or simply Vaseline, because they are really simple and they're very hydrating. They're natural, so they don't have any added chemicals that you don't know about. As well as using specifically coconut oil or aloe vera gel does not clog your pores the way other oils and creams might. But yeah. The next part I want to talk about is the health aspect. So these are foods that you can eat that may make the situation down there just as desirable as it can be. Eating cranberries creates a balance down there. I don't want to go into the chemistry, but your vagina has a acidity of like 3 to 4, so eating cranberries helps you maintain that. And if the acid balance changes down there, then it can cause infections and just other problems that nobody wants. So, and then if you eat sweet potato or avocados, those are good for creating strong walls in your uterus, as well as natural Viagra. They are known to improve your libido and your sex drive if you're interested in any of that, but otherwise it's just good for your uteral health. And then the last thing I'd recommend to eat would be yogurt, because some brands of yogurt have what we call live cultures in them. This is probiotics, basically good bacteria that helps to keep the environment down there normal. Yeah, if you didn't know, there is actually good bacteria and they're called probiotics. and there is bad bacteria which makes you sick. So eating yogurt can help to keep the balance down there, and this isn't just for girls, it's for guys as well. The next thing I want to talk about is if you're on your period, and these are just little tips and tricks that I know that might help you. The first thing I want to talk about, and the most basic thing, but some of us still don't know, is you are meant to change your pad at least every 4 hours. If you have a heavy flow, then you can change it a lot more frequent than that. But for anyone that has thin or moderate flow, it is advised to change it every 4 hours. If you keep it longer than that, then it might make your vagina prone to infections and diseases. So just keep it clean, you know, just do what you gotta do. The next thing I want to say is you know, sometimes for whatever reason, if you get cramps during your periods, you might not want to take painkillers. And sister, I totally understand. A natural alternative to this could be orange juice, milk, or vitamin C tablet. These 3 things are known to reduce period cramps. And yeah, also chocolate as well. Sometimes in some instances, chocolate is known to reduce period cramps as well. The next tip that I want to give you is to take iron supplements when you are on your period, because obviously you're losing a lot of blood and you just want to make sure that your blood cell count is up and popping and that you're not going to get sick afterwards. So take iron supplements. If you can't, then just eat lots of red meat, because that has lots of iron in it too. And the last thing on your period I want to say is that if after your period you get what is known as bacterial vaginosis, girl, it is totally normal. Like I said, your vagina has normal conditions that it's under that makes it feel comfortable, and sometimes being on your period makes it uncomfortable. Now after that's done, a lot of women are prone to getting bacterial vaginosis afterwards, and it's totally normal. It's not an STI, it is just what happens when there's a slight misbalance down there. Under cleaning as well, because I know that a lot of us like to clean her very well. We like to do the most that we can do to get it clean, to get it scrubbed, whatever. Can I discourage douching? Now you may not know what douching is, but it's basically over cleaning her, and these may span from things passed down to your friends or from your parents, things like mixing water and baking soda and washing her down there, or mixing water and vinegar, or iodine, whatever it is that you've heard of, these natural remedies that help to really give your vagina a super clean are actually bad for you, as doing these practices regularly can actually increase your chance by 5 of getting bacterial vaginosis. So if I were you, I just wouldn't do it. Like I said, she has her own inside system of cleaning herself, and all we need to do is clean the outside. So please do not provoke her by doing all these other outside things. You don't need to. And then the last part of this video is just me giving you random tips on how to take care of her down there. The first thing I want to talk about is thrush. It is also called a yeast infection. This is very normal. 7 out of 10 women get yeast infections at least once in their life, and about 4 out of 10 women, I think, get a yeast infection regularly. It's nothing wrong. Again, a yeast infection is not an STI. It's just sometimes there's a misbalance inside your body, and you remember how I talked about that bacteria, that good and that bad bacteria? Well, a yeast infection is what happens when there is a misbalance of the good and bad bacteria, and you end up, you know, just getting all nasty down there. You can get really bad discharge, a bad odor, and some cases you can get a rash, and it can be really itchy and irritating, but it is not, well, I don't want to say it's not serious, but it's not an STI. It can very well be cured. All you need to do is go to the nearest doctor and get advice from there. Unsolicited advice I can give you if you ever get a yeast infection is take lots of yogurt, because like I said, it has live cultures. It'll help to rebalance you down there. Another thing you can get is some antifungal cream or antifungal tablets over the counter at a pharmacist. It is called clotrimazole. I will probably type it somewhere here. That helps with yeast infections as well, but I do still advise you to go to a doctor to get their professional advice. But yeah, the next thing I'd urge you to do is to do your research on STIs. Whether you're in a sexual relationship or not, I feel like it's important to know about your body and what can happen to your body, just so that you're safe at all times. and part of that I think would be take the necessary precautions just so that I never have to deal with the idea of having STIs or anything related to that. Some are treatable, some aren't, so it's better to be safe than sorry. The next thing I want to talk about is the relationship between your vagina and your butt. Now, as much as you might think that nasty or undesirable things come out of your vagina, there's a lot worse that comes out of your butt. And that is just to say that if ever you are wiping your private areas or cleaning them or whatever you're doing, make sure to wipe your vagina first before you wipe your butt, because your butt has a lot of different bacteria that could be very harmful to your vagina. So the last thing you want to do is bring all that gunk from your butt to her, you know what I'm saying? So if you're using the restroom and you're done and you want to clean yourself up, wipe front to back. Start with her, go towards your butt. It's gonna save you so much. I'm telling you now, it's gonna save you. If you are washing yourself, showering, whatever it is, wash her first before you wash your butt. That way you're keeping all your butt's nasties where it needs to be, and you're not making your vagina uncomfortable or potentially putting it in any health danger. Next thing I want to talk about is the fact that your vagina needs to breathe. I don't know about you, but I used to be one of those people that would wear underwear 24/7. Like, it didn't matter whether I was at home in my room sleeping, whatever the heck I was doing. If I was not in the shower, then I always had underwear on. But she needs to breathe. I would advise you at night to sleep naked, or if you can't sleep naked, then sleep with loose clothing on, because she needs to air out. The more you close her in like that, the more she's likely to just fester unwanted infections and diseases and whatever else, because you're creating a breathing environment. It's closed off. There's no room for circulation of air. It'll probably start getting humid down there, and you don't even want to think about it, trust me. So make sure that she gets to breathe at least once during the day. Speaking of breathing, you also want to make sure that you are not constantly wearing lace underwear or thongs or G-strings or anything of the nature, as they can be very uncomfortable to her as well. Lace is not breathable material, and thongs as well are constantly riding up your butt. I mean, that's the design and everything, but just you don't want to do that. Trust me, you just don't want to do that. Let her breathe. I'd advise you to wear cotton underwear as much as you can, because that's very breathable. It allows her the space to just be comfortable and to not feel like she's pinned in. Like we said, we want her to be able to just let everything out. The other thing I want to talk about is using baby wipes. Now, there's this thing called feminine wipes, and they say they're specifically for your vagina, but I feel like they're still not safe because you don't know what they're putting in there. They're probably putting in there all these chemicals to make her smell nice and all this and that, but at the end of the day, it's really not good for you. If anything, the best thing you can use, because I know that sometimes using tissue isn't enough, you can always go for a bit of moisture to just make sure that you're really doing the job. If anything, I think the best thing I would recommend is using baby wipes, because those are designed specifically for sensitive skin, sensitive areas, and it's going to do the least harm to you when you use it. Most baby wipes are unscented, and that's the perfect thing for you. But yeah, at this point, I'm done with the video. That is all I had for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. But yeah, I will see you in my next video. Right now, I'm about to go party.